Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the ToniSport Newsfeed. Today I will talk about the differences from asphalt to carpet racing. As you know, the outdoor season is finished almost everywhere here in Europe. We are at the beginning of November and maybe I'm a little bit late with that kind of a video, but today's video is not a video for RC racers who already have gained a lot of experiences driving on carpet during their RC car career or in the last couple of years. So today's video is only for drivers and people who are relatively new in the hobby and who are maybe facing their first ever season on carpet this winter. So I will not go into the smallest details concerning car setups, but I will let you know what you have to think about when you plan to race on carpet this winter or in the upcoming month at some point on a carpet track close to your home, maybe on your local club, or if you maybe plan to drive some longer distances to make it happen to drive on carpet for yourself. Carpet tracks are not around everywhere, so it is not easy to find a good one, but if you have the solution or the option to drive on a carpet track, just do it in the winter and support the clubs as well. I will let you know what you need and what you need to think about when you have never run on carpet before. So first of all, I like to tell you a little bit about the differences of the driving itself. The main difference is the track surface, which is not asphalt anymore. It's switching to carpet. The carpet is a little bit softer. The carpet has a different amount of traction coming up over a race weekend. The tracks are normally smaller. You don't have grass in between the racetrack. You maybe have to face a hard wall at the side of the hall you are racing in. You have maybe hard barriers and stuff like that. So carpet racing is difficult and different, but it's a lot of fun as well. And you can do it no matter what the weather is doing. So when it's raining, snowing, or even if it's damn cold, it doesn't matter. As long as you're running indoors, you can have some great days of practice or racing. So this is a huge benefit of carpet racing, even if the driving is different. The driving is different because the carpet builds up a different amount of traction during a weekend. And we have to separate two different types of carpet tracks: the permanent tracks and the tracks which the clubs are building for each and every weekend or only 2 or 3 times a winter in a sports hall or wherever. So the permanent carpet tracks, they normally offering a little bit more traction because more drivers and more cars are running on it. And on the other hand, you have these non-permanent tracks which get built up they also have a good amount of traction, but sometimes, depending on the age of the carpet and the condition of the carpet, the driving is a little bit difficult or different. Not difficult, different. So this is what you have to keep in mind. Are you going to a permanent track or are you going to a club which is building these tracks at some weekends during the winter? As I said before, the traction is difficult, and when the traction is really high on carpet, you definitely have a completely different feeling when you have your radio in your hand, went up to the driver's stand and you start driving. You can immediately feel that the car is responding so much quicker to the inputs you made on the throttle and the steering wheel. It's a lot more sensitive because there's more traction and everything happens faster. And therefore, you need a setup for your car which not only suits your driving style, the setup also must suit the demands of the carpet. So the car needs to be not too aggressive and not too nimble to drive on the steering wheel and stuff like that. And therefore you have to change some things on the car. Before we talk about the cars, I have one recommendation for you guys. There is a website out there which is called Pityrc. And there it's kind of a database, and there you can find a lot of setups and building tips and stuff all around the car you are using, and it's available for everybody. It's for free, and you can check what setups and what parts the drivers are using, which are on the track with the same car as you have. So as you maybe don't have a friend who has the same car like you, or if you don't know one of the better team drivers or superstars in our sport, which you maybe cannot ask, then just check pityrc.com, and there you will find all the information around your car. And this will also be very helpful if you prepare your car for the carpet racing or for the carpet practice, because after a very long outdoor season, I really recommend you to take your car completely apart into pieces, clean everything, check that all the parts are pretty fine, nothing is broken or bent, that the ball bearings are working. Maybe you have to replace some parts of your drivetrain, the spool, the spur gear, the drive belts, the drive shaft blades and stuff like that. Maybe. If not, no problem. You can use it as it is when everything is still pretty fine. But if you once cleaned your car and everything is fresh, you have a better feeling, and definitely a car which will work better when you hit the carpet for the very first time in your life. So this is one thing you should definitely do. And when you then start to build up the car again, you maybe can orientate yourself on the setups which you have found on Pityrc, and there you can build the car in a direction. Maybe there's a setup sheet from a guy you know or from a track you like to go to, and then you can use this for a good basic setup to make sure that your car will be almost on the right way when you place it on the carpet track. But there's normally one question which comes up when you start to rebuild your car. The question is which chassis plate you should use. I'm 100% sure that you use the carbon chassis plate on the outdoor tracks, and now a lot of people are asking, can I use the carbon chassis indoors as well? Because a lot of drivers, they are using these kind of aluminum chassis plates. So the first thing I can tell you, yes, you can use the carbon fiber chassis plate. No problem. You can go for practice with your car and it will drive around the track pretty fine. And with the perfect setup, you can also be very competitive with the carbon fiber chassis plate. The difference between carbon and aluminum chassis plates are not only the weight. Normally, carbon fiber chassis is 30-35 grams lighter than an aluminum chassis plate. It is also the stiffness of the chassis plate. The carbon fiber chassis offers a lot more natural flex compared to an aluminum chassis, which is very, very stiff. So concerning your choice, if you don't want to invest money and your carbon chassis is still in a good condition without being bent or worn out too much from the outdoor season, you can go and practice with your carbon fiber chassis. No problem at all. But if you are interested to buy an aluminum chassis plate, it's definitely not a mistake to build a car on an aluminum chassis when you're planning to run indoors. You can get the car quick and fast with both chassis plates. The only advantage you will have with an aluminum chassis is at some point when the traction of the track gets higher and higher, you will have a car which will feel more easy to drive with the aluminum chassis. It will carry more corner speed. It will not traction roll so fast, so quickly with the aluminum chassis plate. And therefore, I like to say that I will go 70 to 80% in all the cases with an aluminum chassis on carpet. But if you know that the club or the track you are going to is have maybe bought a new carpet, or there are not a lot of people running, or the carpet is very old and dirty, then a carbon fiber chassis can also be a very good choice and a benefit, because it will offer you a little bit more natural traction, a little bit more flex. But as soon as the traction will get crazy, you will maybe have a different time or difficult time on the track, because the car will feel a little bit more edgy and difficult to drive. But for the first try on carpet, don't hesitate to go with a carbon fiber chassis. And if you like, just buy one of these aluminum chassis plates which are available for your car. The next step, I want to talk quickly about the electronic package. Normally, you can use the same stuff which you are running outdoors as well, depending on the racing class. If you're running 17.5, 13.5 or modified. Modified, to be honest, is not easy to drive on carpet when you have never done it before. So be careful and don't use too much power. But when you're running in the stock classes, which most of the people are doing nowadays, make sure that you have the right motor and speedo combo for the racing class you want to join, maybe at some day when you have practiced a little bit. And make sure that you also have the right spur gear and pinion gear for the correct overall ratio of the car, which is normally indoors 4.5 or 5.0 depending on the racing class. And yeah, just install everything in the car as you did in the summer, and you should be very fine. On the battery side, I just can tell you that you maybe know that most of the drivers are using pretty heavy batteries when they're running outdoors in the stock classes, something like 8,000 or 9,000 milliamps, because they want to have the maximum available punch over the whole runtime in their car. On carpet, it looks a little bit different. You can use the same battery as well, absolutely no problem, but you will maybe have a little bit of a disadvantage concerning the left and right balance in your car. The heavy battery is not perfect, but outdoors, the punch that it delivers is a bigger benefit than the maybe weight balance, which is not perfect, is a disadvantage. But indoors, it's a different story. You can go with a battery pack around 6,000 milliamps. There are a lot of good packs on the market, and this pack is lighter, maybe 20 or 30 grams, and you will have a better left to right weight balance in your car, which is more noticeable on carpet. As higher as the traction goes, as more you can feel super small differences in the weight balance on the track, because everything happens much faster and much more directly on the track. So a little bit a lighter battery pack around 6,000 milliamps will be pretty fine, pretty good choice for running stock on carpet tracks. And yeah, the modified guys, they are normally using shorty battery packs because they have more than enough power coming from the motor and the speedo, and they don't need more capacity than that. And with the shorty pack, they can go down with the center of gravity to the lowest possible point. This is the reason why you see shorty battery packs in modified cars, but only in modified cars. It will not make sense to buy a 6,000 milliamp shorty pack to run stock, because then the battery pack will be even higher than the standard 6,000 milliamps pack, and you don't have any kind of benefit concerning the center of gravity in your car. Okay, now we talked a little bit about where you can get the informations from concerning your setups, pityrc.com. We talked a little bit about the electronics, and this is all kind of staying the same. You don't need to invest a lot of money, but if there are some things you need for carpet racing, it's definitely these two things, which I will show you right now: tires and additive. You are normally using tires on asphalt, which are made for asphalt racing only, and for the additive it's the same. As you can see here, this is a carpet additive from MR33. There are even more carpet additives on the market, and the same for the tires. This is a set of matrix tires made for carpet racing, and they are tires available from different brands such as Volante or Rush or others. And why you need these tires and additive? I mean, you could easily go to the carpet track as well with your asphalt tires, and you can drive on the carpet. It's no problem, the car will do its laps, but you will never have any serious chance to get up to the same pace or speed as the guys who are using these carpet tires. The reason for that is very simple to explain. The carpet tires, they have a different compound, a different tire insert, a different air gap between the tire and the insert, and so these tires are made for racing on carpet. And together with the additive, which has a different kind of a formula with different components concerning the chemicals and the oils, in combination, that definitely works better on carpet than anything else. And you should definitely invest some bucks in additive and tires when you want to go racing on carpet for the first time, because otherwise you will not have the same amount of fun, and you will on the other side have no serious chance to fight and to race with the other guys on the track. So carpet tires and additive is a must-have. Another positive aspect of carpet racing is that the tire degradation, the tire wear, is not as high as on asphalt tracks, so you need less tires over the winter compared to a summer season when you go practicing or racing very often. If you're going for a practice weekend on carpet, you can do it easily with 1 or 2 sets of tires, and you will have a lot of fun. And yeah, the only thing you have to do, just check the gluing after some runs, because on carpet you have to re-glue the tire from time to time here on the outside because it gets loose due to the high traction and the demanding driving on carpet. But that's the only thing you have to check. And yeah, carpet tires. Last but not least, before we come to an end, I want to talk a little bit about body shells. Normally, most of the hobby drivers and newbies, they are using the more heavy body shells made from 0.7 millimeter Lexan materials. And if you're running on carpet, it's no problem with this body shell. It will do its job. And the benefit from a heavier body shell is that it is more durable, the material is thicker, and if you maybe crash a lot in the beginning, in your beginning times on carpet, this body shell will last longer for sure. But when you then notice that you get better on carpet, you will immediately try to get everything better and better, the setup, the driving, and when you then know that there is a lightweight body shell available on the market for your car, you should give it a try. I mean, the lightweight body shell is made from 0.5 millimeter material in the most of the cases, and the weight difference is huge. It's 20 to 25 grams lighter than the regular body shell. And you will feel these 25 grams immediately on the track because the car will do everything better and more easy and faster with a lightweight body shell on carpet. Direction changes, corner speed, everything. Traction rolling not so much because the center of gravity in the car even goes lower. The only thing you have to do when you are on the limit of the weight of your racing class with the heavy body shell and you change to a light body shell, you have to use some weights and tape them on some spots of your car to get the overall weight the same. And yeah, you can benefit then from the lower center of gravity in your car. So if you are in the position that you say, hey, I'm doing almost clean 5-minute runs, then you are ready to use a lightweight body shell on carpet and you will improve your lap times 100%. I'm sure that this will help you to gain some more performance. But as long as you are not feeling comfortable on carpet, just go with your regular white body shell. It's also very good. In some racing classes, they are limited in the body shells and there you have to go with the 0.7 body shell, and it's also no problem and you can compete against all the others. Yeah, but that's only a side story with the racing action. I think for today we should keep it like it is now in the video. It's very basic what I told you now about the tires, the additive body shells and all this stuff. If you have any more questions about carpet racing, even if you are new in the hobby, just write your questions down here in the comments below the video. I will reply to all of your questions and try to help you out as much as I can. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel until now, just do it. Make sure that the bell is on. You will never miss a ToniSport Newsfeed video in the future. Yeah, and as I said before, if you want to know more about the different things you can change on the car, on the setup, just check our YouTube channel. I made a lot of videos in the past concerning special topics like steering setup, bump steer, Ackermann, gear differentials, shock packages, spring selection, roll centers, and all these different things, chassis flex, weight balance. You can learn a lot from these videos, I think. And that's what some people told me in the last couple of years. And we are really happy to have this kind of a base of knowledge here in our YouTube channel. So if you want to take it serious on carpet, just watch some more clips or send me a message on Facebook and I will help you out as good as I can. As always, in the last stages of the video, keep in mind, race with ToniSport. You will never race alone, and we see us in the next ToniSport Newsfeed. Goodbye.